Hello, everyone. If anyone doesn't know, my name is Dainnese, Arthur Dainnese Jacksons. Others call me Little Day, Day Day, Baby D, or Nuna, Nunabug. I had the nickname Nunabug since 1984 when I lived in Southeast San Diego in these apartments called Bay Vista. Yes, the Vista. I'm trying to see where do I even start. Well, my mother, Linda Jackson, and my father, Jimmy Ray Jackson Sr., had me on May 14th, 1984. I was 4 pounds and 14 ounces. I was the tiniest one out of my siblings. I didn't know that my life was going to be different from my brother and that other sibling. Around 6 months old, I had a very high fever, and my mother told me that I was so hot that my body had to be put in ice for my fever to even go down. I still recall when I was a toddler, around 5 years old, these funny, weird spells, weird feelings used to come and go away. At the time, I didn't know what was going on. The weird feelings didn't happen often. It didn't happen, the weird feelings didn't start to happen more often until I was 14, 15 years old. They began to happen more frequently, and my mother got concerned. And come to find out, I was suffering from complex partial seizures, aka epilepsy. So people know there are different types of seizures. I did my research as I was going through seizures about the different type of seizures. My seizures were not grandma seizures. Nobody could ever tell I was having these type of seizures I was having unless it was a family member or a close friend. I suffer from epilepsy from age 5 to 26 years old. There were a lot of things I was not allowed to do due to my past condition, which was I was not allowed to get my driver's license or get certain jobs. Yet me, Dainnese, I was going to do what I wanted to do. I still got my license when I was 19. I learned how to drive as well. I was a correctional officer for a while. I was not going to let my past seizures ruin my life. If I did, life would suck. Fast forward. My mother found this amazing top-notch doctor at UCSD Hospital named Dr. Evelyn Tacoma, who I still see time to time. I started to see Dr. Tacoma back in 2010. Dr. Tacoma and her UCSD team sat down with me and talked to me about the procedures having a brain operation to prevent and stop seizures and certain things I needed to do to even become a candidate to even get the brain operation. At first, I said no about getting the brain surgery. Just imagine getting your head cut open. Ooh-wee. I said, oh, hell nah, until my epilepsy got worse, having seizures back to back, back to back. That's when I said, forget it. Called Dr. Tacoma back and told her I will get the brain surgery. So, July and August of 2010, I had to be in a hospital for a week and be monitored to see where my seizures were coming from. My seizures were coming from or were happening on the left side of my brain. August 2010, I found out I was a candidate to get the brain surgery, and I was very excited. I was scheduled to actually get the brain surgery October 2010, but my surgery date got rescheduled to January 24th of 2011. When January 24th, 2011 finally came, I was scared. My parents, my ex-boyfriend Tony was there for me. I still remember my dad crying and kissed me on my forehead and told me everything was going to be okay. And that is when me and my dad's relationship we got more better. because I was more closer with my mom than anything. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that. Um, all I remember is I was hooked to a bed. I had my hair was all over the place. I had no weave in my hair. I was hooked to a lot of machines. Hospital gown on, and Dr. Barbara said, Dainnese, count back to number one. All I remember saying was 10, and I was dead sleep. I was out of it. I do not remember anything. 8 hours later, I remember waking up. My head was pounding like crazy. I did not even know where the heck I was. I couldn't talk, walk, or remember anything. I got phone calls from family and friends such as my twin cousins, Sharice and Clanice, my cousin best friend, Natasha, and my best friends, Serena, and others. I heard their voices, but I wasn't replying. My ex-boyfriend, Tony, who is now a correctional officer, got his college degrees. I'm so proud of him. He was there for me as well. As the week was going by, I started to talk, remember things. I even had to learn how to walk again. To be honest, I really didn't look in the mirror because I did not want to see what my head or my face looked like, my eye looked like. To be honest, the left side of my eye looked like somebody busted me in my eye. The left side of my head, it was just like it had stitches, and I had no hair. My right side of my hair, my long hair was, I had that side of my hair, but I just couldn't look in the mirror at all. And Tony, he used to always tell me, Dainnese, you are still beautiful. um, all I did after, having the surgery was take a lot of showers, baths, eat, and rest a lot. And as I was recovering, I started back to write. As for Tony, he was an amazing guy when I first met him. He was very different. He is not the type of guy that I don't want to say normally, that I used to date. Tony was a square, had a lot going for himself, was very well established. But at the time, I had to admit I was not ready to be with a guy like Tony. I was still attracted to certain type of guys, and that certain type of guy was, we already know, that I ended up turning my story into a book, Killer in Heaven. He's in love with the Coco. But I do appreciate Tony for being there for me. However, I have no regrets dealing with the other guy because I have learned a lot of lessons that I needed to learn, and I got serious about writing. I'm not going to give all the credit to a certain person, but I did start getting really serious about writing again. I have been seizure free 11 years, and I'm very grateful, blessed. I thank God, my mother, Dr. Tacoma, Dr. Barbara, the UCSD team. At first, I was having anxiety, even though I became seizure free, but because I was so used to having seizures, I was just having like so much anxiety. Until my mother and Mrs. Francis, who's like a guardian angel, she also had brain surgery and she's seizure free. They both told me that everything was going to be fine. I'm going to be okay. So as time went by, I no longer had anxiety. I don't have anxiety anymore. And I just don't think about 2010. I'm moved on. Now, I am an official book author. I wrote a couple of books. My first book, urban novel, is called Killer in Heaven. He's in love with the Coco. I also wrote poetry and short stories. My first poetry book is called Still Standing, and it tells a lot about me. That's more of my life story, love story, family situations, being molested, and other stuff that I talk about. I also came out with another book called So Poetic, which it talks about sexual intimacy. A little bit talks about also other love stories. Also, it talks about Flojo, Harriet Tubman, who also inspires me. I also talk about a lot of Black Power and other things that I talk about in So Poetic. I'm now working on my new urban novel called The Maserati Chicks. In addition to that, I am also working on my third poetry book called Love Thyself. Both books will be coming out this year, 2022. Thanks to Crystal, Jamisha, Tika, and Raquel for coming along with me on my journey. I decided I wanted to create my book, The Maserati Chicks, back in 2016 when I did a photo shoot at a Maserati car dealership. I don't know, Maserati vehicles have always been one of my favorite vehicles. After I did the photo shoot, I said to myself, I'm going to create a book called The Maserati Chicks. I already knew from the jump who I wanted on my book covers because the girls fit the characters perfectly. The story is based on four girls who was born and raised in Southeast San Diego, living a rough life. Parents on drugs, parents serving time in prison, one of the girls getting molested by a family member, parents cheating on each other, parents still hooked on drugs, these girls living with grandparents because parents couldn't take care of them, pimps and hoes, etc. These four girls wanted out and wanted to survive. So all girls came up with a plan, but will the plan that they came up with, will it cost the girls in the end? Stay tuned. Love Thyself is talking about new love, a new love story, I want to say. New character, his name is Mason, no more Camilo. This book also talk about men who was narcissists. Also, don't take no bullshit from no man. Uplifting us Black women, manifesting, loving ourselves, putting ourselves first. Make a man invest in you like he invests into a brand new home, or keep what is special on lock, if you know what I mean. It also talk about women of strength. It also talk about not just these no good fuckboys, but it also talks about, there are good men out there. Don't get it twisted. There are good men out there. And it talks about a lot of other stuff. I do have plans in the future besides just being a book author. I wanted to talk about my other plans and details, but what I've learned is better to stay silent while you're moving, because some people can try to discourage you because people truly don't have your best interests, don't want you ahead of them, yet want you stuck. So remember, sometimes you have to keep things to yourself. Furthermore, I just thought I'd share a bit of my story with you on my 11th year anniversary being seizure free. Hope you guys all enjoy. For now, take care.